Welcome everyone, Marcelo is my name. I am the niche fragrance collector.
My name is Laura and I am from T2M Sensory.
And we are in the T2M Sensory showroom. I am surrounded by fragrances all over me, but the only fragrances we're gonna focus on are these ones here, which is all about seduction.
Baby. So we have some amazing fragrances to go through with you today that are sex bombs for both men and women.
What is a sexy scent for a woman?
Look, that's a hard question to answer, but it's personal for each individual. I think that for a woman, it's a fragrance that makes you feel sexy.
Right.
But
okay, so that's from a woman's point of view.
yes, but
right.
we also want to wear a fragrance that men find sexy on a woman.
Right. Let's talk about your partner.
Yes.
What's his name again? Sorry?
Michele.
Michele. Is he Italian?
Si.
See, okay. So what does Michele, what's he drawn to? What kind of fragrances or what kind of notes is he drawn to?
Without a doubt, tuberose.
Right.
When I wear tuberose, every time he's like, "Oh, what's that, babe?" I was like, "It's tuberose."
I sounded surprised, but it should be so obvious because when my wife wears tuberose, and she's got a number of tuberose fragrances, I'm the same. I'm like, man, I have to go closer to her. I want to.
I believe that men have a sensitivity to tuberose.
Right. In our first video, we did one on beautiful fragrances for a bride, and you talked about tuberose and how it was almost a seductive kind of fragrance. You mentioned that prostitutes would wear this.
Carnal, erotic, seductive. It is throughout history. And so I believe that there is a reason for that. The reason why is because it gets attention and it makes women feel sexy and men think that when they smell it on women, they fall to their feet.
Now on a man, so what do you think, as a woman, what kind of fragrance on Michele, what sort of, what draws you to him?
So I really, really love green, woody fragrances on him, leathery, spicy fragrances.
I think boys have to work harder to get the girl's attention. All right, so boys are naturally like, oh, girl. Whereas a man has to, to get the lady's attention, you gotta really,
Gotta do a bit of work.
The way that you're dressed is one of the things, and I think the way you smell and the way you put together is an important part.
First up, we have Chypre Mojo. This is a carnation fragrance, really, but it has this pop of delicious mango, and then in the base you have this little bit of patchouli, which gives
the woody. And
look, patchouli can be very polarizing. Some people go, oh, that's related to the 70s and hippies and all of that.
And sometimes some patchouli can be a little bit on the musky side of things.
Yes, but if you have a look at all of the fragrances that you own, you will find that patchouli is probably in quite a few of those fragrances as a base note. And patchouli adds sexuality and sensuality to a fragrance. So Chypre was coined by Francois Coty in 1917. And it was about creating and putting together the most seductive facets of perfume into one scent. I love it. And so this is what he's created here, a modern version of that Chypre. It is delicious,
it's beautiful.
It's Moorish, it grabs attention, and it really does, it gives me confidence.
I was gonna say, for me, this on a woman, this would be beautiful. So you're saying this is more female leaning?
I think so. A little bit more female leaning than
I mean, a man can wear this comfortably.
100%.
But there's a fruity note that's popping through. And I think on a man, this would be a great going out. But on a woman, I think it would be very...
It's a little bit cheeky.
Yeah, very cheeky.
It is a little bit more nighttime because it is big. It lasts very well on the skin. It's an eau de parfum, so it's not extract de parfum, but because of the notes in there, it does last really, really well on the skin.
So you're looking at bergamot, carnation, mango, patchouli. So that's pretty straightforward. I mentioned that I could smell a fruity note in there. Maybe it's that mango.
It opens, you get the brightness of bergamot. Everybody likes bergamot. Bergamot's another one like patchouli. If you'll see bergamot a lot in a top note, and that will, because people make up their mind whether they like a fragrance within the first 3 seconds of smelling it.
That's right.
So bergamot is a great opener for a fragrance. And the other thing is that carnation fragrances are quite hard to find in the market. So if you do like carnation, definitely try Chypre Mojo. Okay, Tubereuse 2 Virginal. So
no one's touched this tuberose.
No.
So she's not a prostitute. She's a good girl.
She's a good girl.
But she's wearing tuberose. Which means trouble.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is by Histoires de Parfum.
Right.
Now, this is all about the Renaissance period where women were banned from walking through the gardens at night.
I love these stories.
I love this.
I love these stories.
And
And these are real things, you know? So like, no, you will be overcome by
yeah, it was true. Right. Like they were actually like, no, women cannot go into the gardens and smell tuberose. And I have a feeling that men also walked through the gardens of tuberose and went, I'm getting erotic desires from smelling the tuberose.
These men would come back from these walks with lustful thoughts.
Yes, exactly.
Honey.
So this fragrance is what I love about it. This has tuberose in the top, the middle, and the base notes. So I love it because it's a different tuberose. It's rich. It's a warmer, more tropical floral fragrance.
I was going to say, it does have a tropical vibe to it.
It does. This makes me think of tropical holiday vibes. You know,
Absolutely.
you're laying by
Absolutely.
the beach, sunbaking. You've got tuberose.
And this is, I mean, this could be beautiful as a day, as a night fragrance, but as a day, I can see that as you just described it. I'm like, yeah, I can see this as a day fragrance by the beach, just.
And then transition into the nighttime.
Oh, comfortably.
Where all the naughtiness begins.
Well, it is about seduction. This is all about seduction. So this fragrance starts off on its top notes with tuberose, cherry, and tangerine. Then in the heart, it goes to tuberose again with frangipani, tiara flower, and jasmine. And finally in the base, tuberose one more time, vanilla, patchouli, and woodsy notes.
So it's richer.
It's definitely richer. I like also the fact that it has those fruity notes because it's not as heady. So it doesn't have like it's not, because I would thought tuberose just would be like an overkill on it. But those fruity notes, it's bringing it down a bit.
And the woods. I love the cherry, the tangerine in the top notes. And then you've got those more tropical flowers in the middle.
Frangipani. As a seduction fragrance, this is a friendly seduction.
Yes.
This is cheeky, but I'm gonna get up to mischief.
Yeah. I think it's elegant too.
Very elegant.
Very elegant. So this is one, I mean, all the tuberoses that I've put on my partner comments, but especially this one.
Right.
Next up, we have Elixir de Baume. Okay.
So I'm a big fan of 2787. We spoke about them on the previous video. Very avant-garde, so very creative when it comes to the blend of notes that are in these fragrances. They are quite different. This one here, I've been wearing, and I am a huge fan.
I love how this opens. It opens as a fizzy, delicious bomb. And it gets better and better on the skin.
100%.
This is part of the wild line. Right. So it is for statement occasions, it's for seduction. And the idea behind it is that it's about going for exactly what you want, when you want it. And it's like, boom, there it is.
It's Elixir de Baume.
Yes.
Are you saying this is female leaning, male leaning,
well,
gender
I
neutral?
think that it's definitely unisex.
Yeah, right.
But I love wearing it myself, and so I've always thought of it a little bit more feminine.
On a woman, this would be a head turner. Would create like, whoa, who is that?
If you've liked fragrances like, for example, Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf. It's got that beautiful wood sweetness to it, but different.
Yeah.
So if you want something different, this is a really great one to go for. And the longevity on the skin is fantastic too.
On opening, this particular fragrance has a red pepper, tangerine, and ginger. Then in the heart, it goes to raspberry, ylang-ylang, and rock rose. Finally, in the base, you're looking at caramel, amber, and leather.
Even the notes sound seductive.
They do.
The leather, the caramel. You know, you're like, oh yeah, this is good.
On card, it's not moving like it was on my skin, you know?
It's true.
It's very sweet still, whereas on my skin, I was getting those more leathery, not necessarily animalic, but definitely it comes off that sweetness.
If you don't like sweet, just put it on skin and wait and see what 100%. Happens, because it does develop into this really beautiful, rich, seductive perfume. Anique 5. This is sweet seduction. There is rum in here, plum.
Sexy.
All the way. I get comments every time I wear this one.
Yep.
And it does make me feel really sexy every time I wear it.
Yep.
So this is the Anique collection from 8 & Bob. Let me spray this. So this is straight away, it's really delicious, isn't it? It's very Moorish. And I love the fact that there's a clean, it's rich,
right.
but there's a clean softness to this,
Yeah.
this fragrance, and it doesn't overwhelm you too much. And it just it meddles with the skin really, really well. This is a love story. So Anique was the daughter of an Austrian banker, and the perfumer Albert Fouquet, who made this perfume, he was at a ski holiday in Mojo, and he met Anique at this one night that has a massive party. They were drinking whiskey, there was fire burning, snow outside, and they were in this log cabin having a gay old time, and it was love at first sight. Now, from that moment, they started writing letters to each other back and forth.
Right.
And so she was based in Austria and he was based in Paris. So he based each of the fragrances on different gardens from between Paris and Austria. And each time they'd meet in a different garden. And so this one in particular was inspired by more an oriental, which we're now calling Amberian perfumery.
Yep.
An oriental garden which had a butterfly house. And so I love the idea of wearing this in summertime. Right. It's warm and sweet.
Because I was going to say, it's not cloying. It's really, there's a lightness to it, but there's definitely sweet. Yes. It's nice. And getting lily of the valley, bergamot, and rum. In the heart is honey, plum, and amber with vanilla, caramel, and patchouli in the base. I'm still getting like a tangerine, some kind of citrus.
Yeah. I mean, there's bergamot in there.
Right.
Of course.
Right. Beautiful fragrance.
Yeah.
Again, this is a playful seduction.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
This one here, I'm a big fan of this fragrance, and I think it's one of the best sellers. Is it fair to say?
100%. I call this the sexy man fragrance.
100%.
Like literally, it's the only one that I actually don the sexy man fragrance. Any man puts this on their skin, and I just want to snuggle into their sweet neck skin. It's true.
There you go, gents.
it's
problem solved. This is it. And actually, really, Egypt is also very appealing from a man's point of view. It's an easy wear. The first time I came across this, I remember the salesperson suggested this one, and as she was spraying, I'm like, yeah, this is just. And then on skin, this wears beautifully.
It does. Everybody comments, everybody likes this.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more leathery, spicy, but not too leather heavy that you smell like a leather jacket or, newly opened leather shoe.
Funny, for me, I'm not getting too much of that leather.
No.
I'm getting more of the spices. It stays very aromatic.
Yes.
This is a great day fragrance. This would be an evening fragrance comfortably.
Anytime, any time of the year, season, occasion,
Right.
you'll always smell dapper, elegant, and sophisticated when you wear this, and it projects really well.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's such a bestseller in the collection, because it's instantly likable for men, and I know that women love this as well. As a sometimes women want to smell like a sexy man.
Just get a sexy man.
Well, you can have.
The boys are like, yeah,
you can have both.
Pick me. In the top note, you're looking at lavender, moss, and lemon. Then in the heart, nutmeg and cardamom. Finally, in the base, you're looking at patchouli, sandalwood, and leather. Yeah, a winner.
Yeah. 100%.
Last one. When Laura sent me the lineup and showed me this one here, I thought she was crazy. I actually pushed back a little. I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. It's about seduction. I think these are really intense notes that are coming through. Laura said, just shut up and just take this one here. This is an awesome fragrance. Now, I had an opportunity to wear this.
What did you think?
So on card, all right, so when you look, it looks like this is going to be just very polarizing. On skin,
something else happens.
Honestly, if I look at the notes and then I look at the way it wears and how I feel about, these are two different fragrances, or they feel like two different things.
So this is AFRIKA OLIFANT by Nishane. This fragrance is one of the most animalic fragrances 100%. In the world on the market today, and has all animal inspired ingredients in it. Now, I want to talk about the fact that we are animals. In the sense that, animals smell each other to see if they are the right fit for each other.
Right. It's weird.
It's weird,
as humans, we do that.
But as humans, they actually say, there's been studies done, that we are attracted to our partner's sweat. Right? So if we like the smell of our partner's or our lover's the smell of their odor and their sweat, that we are a good match.
Right, that raw self, that
raw
animalic
self. Exactly. So where did seduction come from? And it always came from these animalic notes in history. And so this is all of those notes. And it's almost like you smell it and then you go, do I like it? Do I not like it? And then you go back for more.
Correct. In the top notes, we're looking at myrrh, ambergris, olivum, and labdanum. Then in the heart, we've got castrinum, leather, civet, and oud. And then finally in the base, we've got a synthetic civet and musk. So it's just animal with animal and musk and woods and animal.
And animal. So this is actually, it's interesting because at the bottom of the bottle, you'll see Cape Town.
Right.
And so this is inspired by the elephant, which has the strongest sense of smell out of all of the animals.
Right.
And you have got the idea of Africa and these wild animals, you know, running around and this animalic smells. This is one of the top selling fragrances in the Nishane collection.
Do not be put off. So there's a perfumer called Alessandro Galtieri. He does the Dasumatos behind us. And he always says, stop being so pretentious and don't worry about notes. Don't worry about what notes are in. I don't like this, that note. Just put it on your skin and see if it works for you. This one here, Elixir de Baume and African Olifant, both are really unusual but completely unique fragrances. Ones that I'm gonna say you do not have, even if you've got a very nice collection of fragrances, you're gonna find that these two are really unique, really independent. Thank you. Awesome fragrances. If you want to create a little bit of seduction, a little bit of mystery, now married or non-married, I mean, hey, seduction is for everybody.
That's right.
So these are some awesome fragrances that you can explore and experiment with. Fragrance Artisan is supporting my channel. Thank you very much, guys. The code is NFC5 and you can get 5% discount on any of the fragrances in their collection. Jump across to our Instagram page. We are doing an awesome promotion in which you can win 20 of various samples from T2M. Next week, we've got hidden gems, and I loved this theme because sometimes we get caught up on the same fragrances over and over. So these are gonna be some fragrances that are just heavenly, but not many people are talking about them.
Yeah, sure. And we wanna show you some new things.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Ciao.